Welcome to another episode of the What Up With It podcast. I'm your host, Mark Large. I'm here to entertain, inform, and educate you for the next 30 minutes. Before we get into it, I'm going to need you to go ahead and subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode. And I'm going to need you to share this with all your people. All right? It's on. You know, from porch pirates and keeping your packages from getting pilfered, we go to filters. And these are easy to pick up, and you don't need to order for delivery. Filters. I'm going to go ahead and define filters as these are things that keep you from taking action, such as fears, emotional barriers, worry, insecurity, low self-esteem, and analysis paralysis. Examples of filters are procrastinating on a difficult task. Mm-hmm. Not attempting to do something because of fear of failing. Blaming others for not being where you want to be in life. That's a little deeper, but you know we'll try to touch on all of these. Not wanting to do something you enjoy, fearing others will judge you. Mm-hmm. All of these are filters. I've battled my own filters. Ty's battled his own filters. We talk about it. We still battling those same filters. Believe it or not, I don't know if it's part of the DNA, if it's part of what we've inherited from our families, from our religions, from our directly from our parents and how we've been raised. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to look into we're going to look into our own past and see how these filters develop and how we accumulate these filters, and we carry them around, like a burden. So for me, a lot of my filters came from my parents and my, upbringing with religion and then reinforcement from the family. I didn't early on. I didn't identify as being introverted. So not, so losing energy to all of these family things that we do, family get-togethers, and just these rambunctious little events that we have with family. I would feel completely drained, and I didn't understand why, and I didn't, a lot of times I just didn't want to. I didn't want to participate. I didn't want to be involved in a lot of the activities they had going on. And a lot of this carried over just, into my regular life, normal life, just dealing with life situations. Like I just don't want to deal with it, just this I'll duck and dodge until it eventually goes away in some certain, situations. And I'm like, as I progress in life and I start dealing with these situations head on and start learning how to deal with these situations head on, I start to discover that, hey, I was an introvert all along, and these things that I allowed in my life drained me of my energy. So just dealing with that in general was came with a whole bunch of filters that I just, a lot of things I just didn't want to participate in life. I just didn't want to participate in this. I didn't want to go here. There was a lot of periods of time, several years where I didn't really go anywhere. Just I was just working from home. So that kind of had an impact on me. But so those are some of the things that I've dealt with, that life has just put these filters on me and strapped this burden on me. So I'm gonna let Ty slide in here and run down his dealings with what we've coined, this term we coined as filters, just things that, if you just look, think if you got glasses, you just keep putting these things on to deal with what you're seeing. Eventually, you won't see shit because you'll be so blind by all these filters that you don't have a direction to go in.
I think there's another thing that's important. Like, I think that's why people, when we consume alcohol or we are out partying or whatever, smoke a little something, we kind of lose those filters at that moment because, they call it losing your inhibitions, but, that's your true authentic self. That's why a lot of people like to, drink and have fun, what I'm saying? So you can share those because we walk around with them, and they come from childhood, and one of my biggest ones, is guilt. And it was instilled by my mother, not directly, and she was well-meaning. Church, religion, you just guilty. Like, I remember, I think that was you, Vino, that, you said, I don't want to go to church for them to tell me I'm going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Why do I want to go? This is the old Southern Black Baptist churches that used to preach fire and brimstone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I picked a lot of guilt, and that will keep you from doing the things that you want to do in life. And that's a big filter. I mean, big, huge filter, because think about it. Let's say you want your authentic self to go, and move far, far away, but you feel guilty because you don't want to go move away from your family, or you'll never get to see your family again, or whatever. Guilt, doing things, you guilt tripped it into doing things you really don't want to do. So that's a big filter of mine. Another filter is insecurities. And I know that's a broad umbrella or a broad net to cast, but the insecurities are like, one is a fear of speaking publicly or in front of people and articulating and letting out, your true authentic self. That was one big time at work, in the work environment. At home with my homies, my friends, my family, no, there's nothing there. But there is. It's always lurking. And I used to always try to say that, which tie is going to show up. And what I mean by that is because those filters are so, you know what I mean? Because those filters are so thick and so real that they block. And then you be like, dang, why the other day when I was having this conversation, everything was flowing? Well, maybe that day, your insecurity filter was taking a break, So it's definitely, you know what I mean? It's definitely real, and it's definitely disabling in a lot of situations. And that brings me to another one, is lack. And what I mean by that is, lack was instilled by both of my fathers. I had two fathers. I had my natural father and I had my stepfather. My stepdad, he raised me. My real father, he was a partier, street type brother, and what he showed me was lack was because he was always broke, always didn't have something, or, he was never right on time or wasn't right on point, very, very far and few in between. My stepdad, he was there in the house every day, and don't get me wrong, we took nice vacations, trips. He would pay for the whole lot. But where the lack that he taught me was that basically you don't want to be rich. You don't want this or you don't want that. And so he basically was telling me, maybe not directly, was saying that this the best you're going to do, in life. And where I'm sitting there like scratching my head, no, I want to be rich. Give me that problem. You know what I'm saying? And we'll deal with it. And I understand, we all do it. We look at a movie star or a rapper who done fell from grace, and you be like, look, they have money, but let me get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And see what I do with it. So you definitely pick up, lack. I picked up lack early on, and so I look at things. I'm very optimistic, but at the same time, I always feel like something's going to run out. The oceans is going to empty out one day, or or how does the earth provide all of this food that we consuming? How does it do this? I'm worried about those type of things, and those are filters because, the next man, they ain't worried about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might be, a white family or anybody who was raised in an environment where, they was able to flush the toilet, every time they pee. You know what I'm saying? Where in my household, it was like, oh, flush that. If it's yellow, let it mellow. So
yeah.
Those things teach lack, and those are filters. And our well-meaning parents, and they don't realize what they're doing. So, I try to be real careful with that, but I have it bad, still, even though I worry about every little stupid thing, so. So that's my 3 right there, Vino. So,
yeah. Thanks for sharing, man.
But you didn't really delve into yours.
I was trying to. I just wanted to introduce my, but I will go into mine though. So particularly my parents and and their brand of religion have been my biggest filters. My father, he is negative with negativeness. There is nothing that anybody does different from him that is considered good enough in his eyes. Every all his perspectives and strategies and however he approaches life are the only way, I guess, to live life. It's hard to say, kind of not really having any I guess meaningful conversation that bears that out. But I've always felt that whatever I did was never enough. But other people would give me accolades. I played from a youth. I played, basketball, baseball, football. Football, I had no endearment to football. Basketball, I love basketball. And I was good at basketball. And people to this day would tell you, I had hops and all that. But I didn't have no confidence. Baseball, I was probably the best at. And baseball, I probably would have gone the furthest in. But it was my father's constant nagging about, oh, you ain't good enough to do this. You never gonna be that. They ain't gonna let you do this. And just reinforcing that. While I'm trying to learn, so I'm not at this point. I'm not 18. I'm a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to learn who I am and trying to learn about life and how I relate to life. So this negative reinforcement is not beneficial to me. I'm not able to digest this and make something meaningful out of it. I carried on as long as I could, but I just could no longer function with the negative narrative of you're just not going to be good enough or be accepted trying to do what you're trying to do the way you're trying to do it. And okay, at that point it's
go ahead, man. Go ahead, finish your point.
No,
go ahead, finish.
At this point, no, as I say, at this point, it's a matter of, hey, okay, well, I'll let it go, and I don't have to be scrutinized for it.
But we,
So by the time I got to high school, I let all that shit go. I let band the horn. I was playing the horn.
I
I
remember
was
that. I remember that.
in baseball, in the basketball. Basketball is probably I enjoyed the most, but baseball was the best at by far.
What did he want you to do? Like, was there a specific thing that he wanted you to become?
Yeah.
But what?
He so what not? I don't know what he wanted me to become, but he wanted me to go to the military.
Yeah.
And if not the military, he wanted me to go to Ohio State.
Okay.
I didn't want to do neither. Actually, I did. I mean, I got accepted to Ohio State. But it just so happened. Yeah. Just so happened that the same weekend I was supposed to go to Ohio State's what is it
the orientation
onboarding orientation.
Yeah.
I had Norfolk State scheduled.
Mm.
Norfolk State only had 2. That summer session that I went, and the session right before you basically you go down there, you get oriented right on the spot, and you roll right into the university. You don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
I'm like, I'm gonna go to Norfolk State because I got an option with Ohio State that I don't have to. Ohio State probably still had about 3 or 4 more sessions that summer. So I could have easily just slid into one of those. So I chose Norfolk. I went to Norfolk State orientation. Went down there, fell in love with that motherfucker. My mother fell in love with that bitch. Like it was, and I guess in that regard it was meant to be because I went down there, I did my 5 bullets, but I got about that bitch. Huh?
You did 5 years?
Did 5.
Oh yeah, what you was dropping classes?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I was dropping classes. I switched. I changed majors. Initially my major was computer science.
Right.
And that sweatbox of a computer room and just the bleak existence I saw myself having, because I was good. I was good at like debugging shit, like looking at people's code and like, oh, you ain't got no semicolon here. This should be a period and there's a comma, or there should be an O and not a 0. I was good at that, but I just didn't have no, an aptitude for what a developer does, like you do. You know what I'm saying? So, I changed my major, went to MCIS. Boom, I was on track, and I banged it through summer school and got the hell up on out of there. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I chose to go to Norfolk State, and my dad was salty about that. Still is salty about that shit. We locked up about that shit.
Yeah.
Recently, so that nigga still salty about this shit. So I'm like, man, nigga, I'm down there half a century now.
Right.
What the fuck do you want me to do? I went and did what I did. I got lifelong friends and lifelong connections because of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the fuck out of Ohio. I wanted to get the fuck away from what I was normally associated with.
From the filters, huh?
From the filters, from that direct filter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that's
so
they do a lot of damage. Go ahead.
No, and actually, I was gonna say, that's really a one of my more prevailing filters, and so now you all know about it, and you might be able to get some inference into why I have the personality that I do now, in some situations, but I think the bottom line regarding that is me and Ty have had to deal with our family, the things the filters that we inherited from our family, and the things that don't benefit us.
Right.
One of the subjects we're going to touch on is religion, and I'm gonna say religion that helped me back a lot from just presenting myself as the person I know I am. I don't, you don't want to offend people. You don't want to ruffle any feathers or whatever. But I also I have a gruffer personality as well, so I don't want to unleash that on people either. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let Ty get his last piece in before we wrap this joint up.
Yeah, well, you touched on it. I was just basically also wanted to interject, like when you had said something about your dad, nothing ever being good enough. For me, and for everybody, and I don't know why our creator or creators made us like that, but you always seek the admiration of the ones that's not really giving it to you. Now, if somebody all on your job, somebody pumping you up, you know what I'm saying? We don't like the way that feel either. So somebody's kissing your ass, you don't like that. But then also the other extreme is somebody that's never giving you a compliment or never, big up in you, and nothing's ever good enough. So that's just the way we're made. And I think it was done purposely to, it just serves up the challenges of the mind and the mental and things to overcome and whatnot. And it's all there. You know what I'm saying? It's not funny. These filters are not funny to have. But like you said, you wanted your father, something to be good enough for your father. And deep down, I think, and that's the same with me and everything else. You wanted him to be like happy, even though, he may have put you off a little bit by, nothing being good enough. You damn sure wanted him to say one day, like, hey, man, good job, or good, I'm not trying to put your dad down. I'm just saying that we always see admiration of the people who ain't giving it to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's just in our makeup. That's in our DNA. So, yeah, that's definitely a filter. And lastly, like I said, we do good, but just imagine what we could do if we didn't have all these filters that was instilled in us by our well-meaning parents. I remember hearing a story real quick about a fictional story, but basically a baby was left on another planet, another world, and it didn't have any filters. And when people came, the baby could do all kind of amazing things, or the young child could do all kind of amazing things because it didn't have limitations and lack and all the different filters that have been applied to us in our youth, in our childhood. Right. So this is something to think about.
Definitely, and I think we can go ahead and wrap it up on that. Think about, when you were a child and all of this was brand new. The smell of fresh, right. The car, brand new car smell.
Right.
Eventually you're going to accumulate some junk in that car, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be the same. Think about what we can do to clean up these filters that we have, and if not repair these relationships, situate ourselves to move on with knowing that we have the ability to control how we react and deal with situations.
That's right.
And that's my last bit of wisdom. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's for the first episode of What Up Wit It. You know what I'm saying? Episode 1.
What Up Wit It.
We're gonna keep it moving, in the future. We're gonna get better. We're gonna rock it. We're gonna have some deep conversational pieces for you. I'm holding back. You know what I'm saying? Vino,
I'm holding back too, man.
Yeah, you know how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I don't even be up in here getting hype. So I'm holding back, but we're gonna keep crunking it up. We're gonna make it live for y'all, and just give you food for thought. Something to think on, something to ponder on. Hopefully something came out of this podcast where you could say, hey, yeah, and just help people. That's it, man. Signing out.
Indeed. We're signing off, man.
All right, man. Till next time, man.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the What Up With It podcast, and I look forward to your respectful, civil commentary and input. This podcast was brought to you by Introverted.com. Come recharge with us over at NTROVRTD.com.